Well, hello everyone and good morning and welcome to Wow Wednesday. If it's Wednesday, it must be time for wow. So kudos to you for taking this time to give yourself this midweek boost of motivation, education, and inspiration. For those who may not know, I'm Nancy Matthews and I'm one of the three founders of Women's Prosperity Network, which is a global community of extraordinary women just like you, who are here to make a big difference and a positive impact through your products, your services, and your projects. We are here together to bring more love, light, and smiles to the world. And look who's with me today, Gladys Diaz. Isn't that a beautiful smile you brought? Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. So great to be here.
Delighted to have you with us. And we're going to have a wonderful conversation today about how to create success in business and in love and how they're connected. And Gladys and I have a long history together. I think 7 or 8 years now, something like that, my friend.
Yes, I think we're coming on our next month will be our this month. This month is our 7-year anniversary.
It's
8 year.
It's amazing. So you are in for a treat today. I'll bring Gladys on in just a moment. Couple of quick announcements for Women's Prosperity Network. Number one is kudos to everybody who joined yesterday's coaching conversations and connection, our members only event. I wasn't there myself, but I've heard it was off the chain because all of you show up. So number one, if you're not a member yet, what you waiting for? You can join for $1, give it a go, come and connect with these extraordinary women. Gladys, you were there last night, right? What were you saying at our pre-call today about it?
Oh, I was just mentioning how I don't always have the opportunity to come, and I saw the opportunity. And I was blown away because of the resourcefulness. It's just the most resourceful, supportive. People were asking for what they needed, and you couldn't even get your request out of your mouth. And the entire chat was like, me, I'll support you. I'll partner with you. I'll teach you. And it was just a beautiful way to end the day, a day of giving and giving and giving. And now you get to receive, as entrepreneurs, we give a lot. And it's just a wonderful, just like the lady who was saying about Wow Wednesday being the way she gives to herself. It's just, I find that every time I'm connected with you all, I receive so much.
Yeah, well, you heard it. So if you're not a member yet, make sure you do become a member. We've got 3 different times during the month where when you're a gold member, it's all included. So check it out and join us for that. We've got in October, early October, our 2-day sales and marketing boot camp. And this is really for anybody who wants to serve more people without being salesy and sleazy. Like, we show you how to do it from a place of authentic caring and love that has people say, please, how can I buy from you? Like, that's what we want. I don't want to sell. I want people to say, oh, I love what you're up to. I think that'll benefit me. Can I buy that? Yeah, you can. Right? That's what we want to happen. So check that out. All the information's on our website. And today I get to have Gladys Diaz with us, and I'm in an special place in my life, and my relationship and what I've learned from Gladys has had a lot to do with it. So we'll tell you about a little bit more about that later. But let me first share with you a little bit about her background and her expertise. So first of all, Gladys Diaz is one of the love twins. Her and her sister, Michelle, created Heart's Desire International. And Gladys is a transformational dating and relationship coach and a speaker. And her mission is to empower every woman on this planet to have an experience of love and being loved every day of her life. She specializes in working with successful women who also want to experience success in their love lives by teaching them how to remove what they call the love barriers that have kept them stuck in the past, so they can welcome and experience new and extraordinary love in their lives. She's a certified speaker, seminar leader, professional coach, She's been certified in the Wainwright Global Relationship Coaching, Women's Prosperity Network's Business of Speaking. We got a fun story about that one. She's a motivational coach and a neurolinguistic master practitioner. So welcome, Gladys.
Thank you. Thank you. It is always such a blessing to be here, to be able to give back to a community that has given me so much. So thank you for the invitation.
It is my privilege and pleasure to have you with us. And let's jump right in, because the topic of business and love don't normally go together. So let's jump right in and talk about how success in your love life is also related to success in your business.
Absolutely. Well, I was texting, if I looked a little distracted, I actually was, because I was texting my sister. She's the stats person. She's the analyzer. I'm the promoter. And a couple of things that we've learned, and I know we've shared this back when we used to speak on the stage at the Unconference, is there actually is a lot of research connecting the successful women, like Forbes 500 women. These are the kinds of, things that we entrepreneurs geek out on reading, and successful relationships. And I know that it can be triggering for women who aren't in successful relationships. Maybe they're single, or maybe their relationship isn't where they really hoped that it would be. But it's important to know that there is a correlation between how happy you are in your relationship and how successful you are in your business and in your career. Even Tom Grover, he wrote the book Relentless, which is, for me, it was not the most feminine book to read, but the thought, like the mindset behind, he's one of the top coaches for the top athletes. Like, we're talking about Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace, and the big names. And the very first thing that he talks to them about before he goes into any type of coaching and training is their home life. What is happening at home? Because what's happening in your personal life is absolutely impacting who you're being, how fulfilled you feel in what you're doing. And I know, because I was one of them, that many of us who are successful, smart, strong women, when we're not feeling like we're successful in the love and relationships area, we'll throw ourselves into the parts of our lives where we do feel successful, which many times is our careers, our jobs, our businesses. And I always tell my clients, avoidance is not resolution. So avoiding something doesn't mean you've resolved what's at the core, what's at the source of not having this. Because, and I hope, I hope we have, I think I have the chat open yet. I don't know if the chat's working, but
no, chat's working. So
yeah.
Questions.
Yeah, maybe comment, have your questions ready, because success, I know a lot of times we measure it in terms of the bottom line, how much profit, how many closed sales we have. The true success is feeling happy and fulfilled in every area of your life. Mm-hmm. And if you really do have a desire to share the beautiful life that you're creating with the right person, not just any person, with the right person, then denying that or avoiding that isn't resolving that. It's not serving you. You're actually out of integrity with yourself when you do that. So our goal, our mission in life is to really help women, to guide them into seeing that you don't ever have to choose between a successful, profitable, prosperous business and a happy, loving, intimate relationship, because you actually have the capacity to have both and have them abundantly.
Beautiful. And you and your sister are both fine examples of that. And I want us to address, there's a couple of different type of people listening in today. We actually have some men with us as well. So welcome, gentlemen. We're glad that you're here. Yeah. And perhaps you're listening in or watching in on the show today. And again, questions or comments can go in the chat or on Facebook, because we're broadcasting live as well. Perhaps you are single and want to be in a relationship. Perhaps you're in a relationship and you'd like it to be better. right? Because if, again, I know for me, whether it's in a relationship and relationship with my kids and, my housemates and my sisters, when that's rocky, my business is rocky. Like, even if we don't talk about the correlation in an intimate romantic relationship, when there's trouble at home, it impacts everything. I can't think as well because I believe, feeling loved and that sense of belonging is a primal need, in fact. And when that primal need is not satisfied or feels threatened, it's hard to think. Like, we get into NLP and how the brain works, right? Like, we could dive into that pretty deep, but I don't know if we will.
For sure, there's that cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
It's the gap between where I desire to be and where I presently find myself. And a lot of times all the time, where I presently find myself is a result of choices, decisions that I've made in the past. And so if I can, and this is, just again, keeping the NLP and all of just the way the brain works, because the brain just wants to protect you. So if there's any resistance right now, if there's any I'm getting uncomfortable, it's okay. It just means that something's getting shaken up that gets to bubble up so that we can see it. If you reveal it, you can heal it, right? And a lot of times we're using the past evidence to predict the future and what's possible. And the key is not going to blame, not going into fault. If I can be, and this is for your business too. Everything that I'm talking is it's what works. Law, you can't argue law, you can't argue principles. And if I can own 100% responsibility of the role that I played, whatever it was, without guilting, without shaming, then it's good news. Because if I had something to do with it, I can also have something to do with transforming it. Mm. And, we constantly are telling the women that we work with, because we do work primarily with women. And when they come to us, there's a lot of times a lot of resignation, a lot of jadedness, a lot of pain, right? All that's covering a lot of pain. And when we ask them what they want, what is it that you want? They proceed to tell us everything that they've had and everything that's happened. And
what they don't want.
Exactly. And that's why I say you're using the evidence of the past to predict your future. So I tell them, listen, we're gonna go into your past with a temporary visa. We're gonna go there and we're gonna come right back to the present, because here's where it's impacting you.
I love it.
Your past is an informer. It's just giving you information. It's not a predictor of what's possible for you. And when we can say, well, you know what? I stayed a little longer than I needed to, or I keep attracting unavailable men, and that's breaking my heart, or men, who won't commit, or they start one way and they end up a different way. If we can see the patterns, then that's where the love barriers that you were mentioning are. Those are the fears, the limiting beliefs, and the patterns that keep playing out. We know, it's been proven time and time again that we know how to help you break through that, so that you can start having the experience of success in your love life and even more success in your business. But if those barriers are in the way, I always use the analogy, Nancy, of I've never done it. I know some of it, you may have done it when you were on that reality show, but White River rafting. What makes White River rafting is all the rocks that are in the way. If there weren't rocks in the way, it would be smooth sailing. It'd still be fast, but it would be much smoother. So when we remove the love barriers, all of a sudden the fear that was stopping you in being open and vulnerable and attracting the right person is you see that it's also the fear that stopped you from charging what you know you could be charging for your services. It's what stops you from having the enrollment conversation, because the fear of rejection is not isolated to love and relationships. It also plays into, that's why they want to go to that sales training October, because your fears and limiting beliefs don't go, oh, this is the cubby hole for love, and this is the cubby hole for business, and this is the cubby hole for my family. They're everywhere. They just show up differently. So even the women who are having extraordinary success, it's a fraction of the success you could be having when you break through the love barriers. Because once that's out of the way, It is smooth sailing in every single area of your life.
So good. And I can't wait till we get to the question and answer part as well. So as things are coming to you, make sure you jot down those questions. You can put them in the chat or on Facebook. Let's bust a few myths.
Yes.
Okay. So myth number one, successful women are a threat to men.
Okay. We hear this one a lot. And
that was one of my myths.
Yeah, we hear it all the time. Men are intimidated by me. Men are intimidated by my success. They can't handle a strong woman, right? We hear this all the time. And what we say with so much love is men are not intimidated by successful women. They're intimidated by intimidating women. So you want to look to see what is it that's coming across. Perfect example. I'm already thinking of the additional things that I'm going to get in the community. You know me, I'm always like, it's Christmas. But when you are meeting someone, even having a conversation, if your friends are giving you this feedback, well, sometimes you come across a little overbearing, or you can come across as intimidating. We get triggered, we defend, and again, avoidance isn't resolution. And so we miss the opportunity to ask, what specifically did I say or do that came across as intimidating, as aggressive, as overbearing? You've got to have emotional intelligence to receive that type of feedback. It could be the feedback that changes your life, because like the fish who doesn't even know it's in water till you take it out and it can't breathe, we don't know when we're being controlling. We don't know when we're being overbearing. We many times think we're being confident, and it's coming across as arrogant.
This is gold, my friends.
And so we'll walk into a room and we'll think we're all in our, I'll never forget the time my sister, I had just finished having my second son. He was about 3 months old. And we decided we're all going to have a girls' night, and we go to the Hard Rock. And my sister and my twin sister and I, when we're together, we're like 12 years old again. It's like giggles and, teasing each other, and we're having a blast. And back then, I don't know now, but the Hard Rock would shuttle you like in the little golf carts to the front, because we were parked so far away in high heels. And we're having a blast. And I kid you not, Nancy, the moment we step over the threshold and I look at my sister, I was like, what the hell is that? There was this look on her face that to me, I was like, we were just laughing. Like, what is this? There was this seriousness and this, I don't know what it was. It was scary to me. So I said, come with me to the restroom. Let's go freshen up. And I said, what's that? I stood in front of the mirror and I said, what's this? As she saw herself and she goes, I've just not been having a lot of luck, and I come to these places, I don't get asked to dance. And I was just like kind of, giving myself a pep talk to feel confident. And I said, you look scary. Like, it's not confident, it's scary. And I said, we would
all have someone so loving and who loves us so much to let us.
I was like, we were just laughing. So I start telling her some of the things that we were just like literally crying, laughing, and this entire different person. And I said, walk in with her, because she's attractive. I wasn't talking about the physical. That's someone people want to get close to. And I said, and if at any point during the night you feel scared or whatever, like, just come to me and I'm going to make you laugh. I kid you not, my sister did not sit down for a moment. She was getting asked to dance and asked to dance and asked to dance. And that was when we created the distinction between being confident and coming across as arrogant or aloof, or, you think you have to steel yourself up. And what happens is there's nothing more attractive than a smile. And again, I'm not just talking about the physical attractiveness. Your face literally changes, and there's a ton of hormones that happy hormones that get released just from smiling. And it is also an invitation. And when I say invitation, I know I'm speaking into some fears. I'm not saying you're inviting them home, you're inviting yourself to their house. I'm approachable. Like, it's safe to come here. So a lot of times when women are feeling that men are intimidated by them, it could be whatever you're telling yourself to kind of steel yourself. And think about that. You're already protecting yourself from someone you just started talking to or your partner. You're already stealing and preparing yourself for war when there could be partnership, and there could be, at the very least, if it's the first time you're meeting someone, a conversation that's enjoyable, right? A conversation that makes you laugh and you learn something about somebody else. So that's one way that women come across as intimidating. And the other one is, a lot of times when it comes, because we feel more successful, when it comes to work, we bring a lot of the skills that really propel us in business. So we'll bring, at work, even if you're selling the sexiest lingerie or beautiful makeup that's very feminine products, when we're at work, we must bring our masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's that goal driven, getting things done, meet the bottom line, timelines, and we have to be in that energy in order to be successful. When you come on a date or you sit in front of your partner and all of a sudden you're managing, you're directing, you're telling him the timelines, the deadlines and what the consequences are if they're not met, it's not romantic. It's not attractive. And that's the kind of stuff that, we use a little phrase, your man doesn't want to be managed, doesn't want to be told what to do, when to do, by when to do it. And a lot of this stuff I found out the very hard way. I almost lost my marriage, that I was trying to use the same skills that were really propelling me in my career, and they were repelling love, intimacy, and partnership in my relationship. Some skills transfer over, and some skills, it's just shifting into your feminine energy, because now in my feminine, I'm more receptive. In my feminine, I'm able to receive, because we're giving a lot when we're working.
Yeah. So many things have come up in this conversation, and I am in the experience of all kinds of new lessons around this. So some of you may have seen, a post that I put up a couple of months ago, actually about a month ago, that I am in an amazing relationship now with a wonderful, loving man, and he might even be listening in. So I'll say, I love you, honey.
Oh my God, I have to meet him.
I know. And so here's what I'm going to say. Like, when you were talking about, you may not even realize how you're coming off strong or intimidated. Like, I've been single for a very long time, and I like things the way I like things. And when you're bringing another person into your life and sharing it, I haven't realized how I've said certain things. Like, no, that has to go over there. Like, oh, really? It has to go over there. Fortunately, he's a wonderful communicator, and he will call me out on my crap. And I am very grateful, and I'm open to it most of the time. And sometimes it takes a little longer than others, but I'm still practicing. So there's all kinds of new learnings. And now, having learned so much from you, I've attended workshops with you. We're going to share a fun story about that in a moment. I can see who the woman I was in my marriage that didn't succeed. Like, he didn't have the communication skills that Barry has. I wasn't as evolved or self-aware at this point. And what I want to say to everyone listening in, whether you're single or whatever type of relationship you're in, what Gladys said about taking responsibility and looking at your part in it sets you free, and you can transform your singleness or your current relationship. It all starts with us.
Absolutely. And my sister, who's just, what would I do without her? She actually did send me some stats. So what we're talking about right now, being able to receive feedback, being able to communicate. There's a couple of studies that got done during the pandemic, specifically around relationships. People were in a very highly vulnerable state, whether you were single or not. The fact that we were told where we could go, what we could do. People were feeling very isolated, and they were beginning to see changes, like Match.com and the big names. They started to do research, and they started to see that there's been a shift in what men are looking for. The number one thing that men, this is going to blow people away. It blew me away, and I knew it. The number one thing that men are looking for right now is a woman with emotional intelligence.
Mm.
And emotional intelligence is the ability to communicate, to feel your feelings, to communicate them in a way that doesn't have to disparage, or, you're blowing up. You're either blowing up or shutting down. Those are the two, the two extremes.
Yeah.
But it's the ability to have your emotions and be able to communicate them, to express them, to feel them in a way that is, I'll use the word healthy, for lack of a better word right now. I've only had half a cup of coffee, but it's that ability to not, I think managing your emotions is the first step. What we teach our clients is, how do you master the thoughts that trigger the emotions, that trigger those behavior patterns that kill relationships. They kill intimacy. They strip away respect. And when you're stripping away intimacy and respect, you're also really impacting the level of trust in the relationship. So a lot of times that feeling, I can't trust men, it's not isolated to men, like I said before, but it comes up more there because we feel a little bit more vulnerable when it comes to romantic relationships. But that was one of the first things that this study, and it was 83%. It wasn't like,
83% of men
of the single men want emotional maturity in a partner over physical attractiveness. Physical attractiveness scored 78, so it's still high. 84% want someone they can communicate with, and 83% want someone who is open-minded and accepting of their differences. So, it's a billboard for what was happening in the world during, the COVID was not the only thing we were dealing with. It was high emotional tension in the country. And then another study called the Harvard Grant Study, it talks about success as an overarching arc, which is exactly what we were just talking about across the person's life. Emotional intelligence, the first key to having success in life, and obviously in business and in love. So having that mastery over our emotions, so that you're the one choosing, not your fear, not your limiting belief, not the patterns that either you created in your life or got handed down to you from your family. It is so important. So while Michelle and I, of course, we've learned marketing, we've learned sales, we do promote ourselves as transformational dating and relationship coaches, because if people come to our events and they think they're just going to get that top 10 tips, tricks, tactics, and bells and whistles.
Right. Here's how to type your profile.
Exactly. It's not the kind of work that we do. We teach that, of course, but doing that on top of years of pain, doing that on top of, mounds of limiting beliefs, is why women will say, I've tried everything and it doesn't work, because we haven't gotten to the root of it. So we're very, very proud of the fact that we distinguish ourselves from other dating and relationship coaches. And some people will say, oh, that's costing you money, you're leaving money on the table. Integrity is our top core value. So we cannot pretend. We teach all of that. We teach you how to date successfully. We're actually having a workshop this Saturday on how to have a profile that attracts the right man, so that you can, we're all too busy. Nobody has time to date 25 wrong men. Nobody. Who cares if 100 of them like your profile? You don't have time for that. You're a busy woman. You need to learn how to truly attract the right men, so that you're dating 2 or 3 of them, and then you can say, okay, this is the one I want to keep getting to know, to see if I want to keep getting to know him, right? And so
I love that.
Those are just some of the things, some of those connections between that. And I know you'll be able to help me. I'm serious about the half cup of coffee. Warren Buffett. I was going to say, I know you'll be able to tell me your name. Warren Buffett was asked what the number one key to, this is one by far the wealthiest, smartest men on the planet. And he was asked in an interview, what was the number one key to success? And he said, it's the amount of love in your life, the amount of love in your life. And I was like blown. I have chills as I say it, because I'm like, I'm sure everybody, I wasn't at the interview, was thinking he's going to give like some sort of like financial golden nugget.
Right. Yeah.
He went on to talk about how much, not only how much love you're giving, how much love do you have inside of you? How much love do you have around you? He said, that is the bottom line. When you die, that's what you take with you. And I was like, oh, one of my favorite, I read that article all the time because obviously we're always working with businesswomen. So ladies and gentlemen, and yesterday I learned on the call, just beautiful humans, right? Because we have people who are fluid. You really want to look, where in my life am I limiting myself when it comes to love and relationships? I could come here and Nancy knows, and I'm sure we'll tell our story. I can talk for hours about sales. I could talk for hours about business. I could talk for hours about my kids. All of it came through the work. We call it the heart work, not hard work, because relationships aren't hard. The heart work process of being able to break through those barriers opened the floodgates to everything I've always wanted in my entire life. My family, the money, the business, the amazing husband, and the fact that I get to make a real profound difference in this world. And it all came through getting rid of those barriers.
So good. Woo. All right. Well, as you can all tell, this has just flown by the past 30 minutes. We are going to open up so that you can ask your questions of Gladys. And I want to tee us up to share. First of all, you mentioned a workshop this weekend, but then I also know that you have your 3-day event, which materialized or came into existence. This is a very fun story. At our speaker workshop 7 years ago, was it?
Yes, it was. I think it was 2014. My God, was it 2014? I keep doing the math in my head. I'm like, is it really? I think it was. It was 2014.
When did you do the first Irresistible Woman Live?
2015.
So it was 2014. So we know our history.
Wow.
I'm going to put the link in the chat while we talk about this. And so Gladys comes to our speaker training, and at the time it was a speaker training and certification program. It was very in-depth in person. And one of the activities that we gave you to do was to practice closing in front of the room. So take it from there, Gladys.
So it was, we had an amazing first day of the workshop, and we were our homework, which I was like, homework. I used to be a teacher, and I was like, homework was that we needed to create just the call to action. Mm-hmm. And we needed to make it, using everything that we had learned in the workshop, and we were going to be videotaped. So that was the part that I was like, like sweating.
I need to find that tape and play
about it. Oh my God. So, I had just finished closing the doors to a program, to our program. And I was like, I don't really have anything to sell. So I raised my hand, and Nancy said, just make something up. So I was like, okay, I'll make something up. So I came home with my little composition notebook, and I'm doing my homework. And I started thinking, well, if I'm going to make something up, I want to make something up that I would maybe sell one day. I don't want to just waste. I just said we're too busy to waste our time, right? So I start thinking, what would I do? And I start thinking about this event that had been in the back of my head for a long time. We kept getting approached by business organizations to come speak at their events because they wanted, women wanted to know the difference, the connection between love and business. So I just it starts flowing. I'm looking at all my points. I'm making sure I have, what's in it for you and all that. And
we teach you.
And so I come ready, and I was very nervous. I really was like, I am sweating for real talking about it. And I go and I talk about this event that is specifically for the smart, successful, highly driven woman who is tired of wasting her time in love or tired of having her heart broken. And she's ready to break through anything that's standing in her way so that she can create the amazing, loving relationship of her dreams and have the success that she wants, have as much, if not even more success in love than she has in her business. And so I do my call to action, and I say, so just meet me, and I pointed just like they told us to do, meet me in the back of the room, and if you'd like more information. So all of a sudden I see Nancy and about 5 other WPN sisters run to the back of the room. And remember, I'm being videotaped. So I'm thinking, oh, this is part of the thing, right? I think it was the first one. So I didn't even have anything to measure against. And I'm like, yes, please put your business cards in the fishbowl. There's no fishbowl. There's no table. I'm making this all up. Make sure you put your cards in the fishbowl. And Nancy turns around and goes, these aren't business cards. And they all went like this. It looked like a, I don't know, commercial for credit cards. And they were, I've been telling this story all these years.
I know.
They all had credit cards in their hands. And I had made the offer for like $375 for a 2-day event. And they were back there and they were ready to buy. And they did buy. And that wasn't the intention.
We had our credit cards.
Everybody had a credit card. They got to have a little square, little square thing. And we had a break right after that. I mean, I was literally blown away. I was just on a high. I called my sister and I said, hey, listen, we're doing this event. It's called
I love it.
Called the Irresistible Woman Live. It's going to be next year. And we've got 5 women who just bought $375 tickets. So it's happening. She's like, okay, where are you? And so I told her about the training. And that's how the Irresistible Woman Live got created. It was something in my heart. Again, I practice what I teach. It was a heart's desire of mine for probably 3 years. I've been saying, we should do this, we should do this, we should do this. And it happened. And now we're about to have the 2022 Irresistible Woman Live event. And it's just gotten more powerful every single year. The new relationships, the restored relationships. We just found out today, there's a baby due for somebody who came to one of those events and was sure she was not going to find. She was just not going to find him. And now she gets the family she wanted.
So curious. So there were 5 of us that came when you, and here's one of the ways that she got us in this 5-minute practice call to action that she did. She's like, so ladies, if you're ready to be invincible in the boardroom and irresistible in the bedroom, like, who doesn't want that?
They're like,
yeah, right. So I am in an amazing relationship, and I thank you so much for all you've taught me and contributed and showed me what's possible, both in your example and in your teachings. Tasha, who was the second person standing there with the credit card, just got married, right? Like, and I'm curious, we should look back. Who were the other 3 women and what's happening?
I think Anna, who just got married.
Oh, she just got married. So 3 out of the 5.
And
wow.
Then Cheryl, was her marriage, we didn't know because people weren't talking about that, but her marriage was in a very, she was afraid it wasn't going to work out. And they now have the most beautiful love story. After by now it's like over 30 years of marriage. So yeah.
That's beautiful. All right, so I put the link in the chat. Irresistible Woman Live is coming up September 16th through 19th, or 3 days?
Through the 18th. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's virtual. It didn't used to be virtual. People used to fly from all over the country and all over the world, really, to come and experience the event in person. And this is a 3rd year we're doing it virtually. And the feedback has been, how in the world were you able to replicate what we used to experience inside of an in-person room in an online event? It is not like, it's not a conference, ladies, because I know I'm speaking to business women. You're not going to have a bunch of speakers coming and selling or giving you free gifts. This is coaching, the same coaching and training that we give our clients in our year-long program. We put it into this 3 days because we know not everybody's going to work with us, but everybody gets to have the happy, loving relationship they want.
So good. So in any event, you will not need to pay $375 like I did.
$500. $500.
Right? Because Gladys so loves this community, and she wants to give back to the community that has supported her and her sister and having the impact and the income. It is only $47 for you to grab your ticket. So you want to go to, I know we've got lots of people on the phone. You go to bit.ly/. IWL 2022, and the IWL is lowercase. So IWL 2022, Irresistible Woman Live 2022 is what that stands for. Grab your ticket and be sure to put in the how did you hear about this place, put WPN. And you mentioned you wanted to give something extra for your WPN sisters.
I do, because I always tell Nancy, this is what I'm going to give. And then it's like, and then. Yeah. So, and actually, before I go on, please make sure that you put WPN, because for us, it's really important for us to know that our sisters are in the room, our WPN sisters are in the room, and just so that, you know, we can shout you out. And so 2 things came into my mind while I was, you know, talking. One is I would love to invite those of you who are single and really are, I remember yesterday somebody put in the chat, Gladys, I'm so ready, you know, and you really are ready to learn how to date smartly, how to attract the right man so that you're not wasting time and you're having a heck of a lot more success when it comes to dating and relationships. You want to go ahead and let me go ahead and drop another link. And I know this totally breaks all the marketing things. You should only have one call to action. Oh, well, this is about making a difference. I'm not worried about making money right now. So, so we are having a workshop this Saturday on how to eat. We're going to teach our ultimate attraction system. It is the #1 way to easily attract the right man, the man that you're going to marry, if that's your dream. And most of the women who come to work with us, they have that. And then for everyone, I just have to type this up because I'm telling you, I didn't have this ready, but these are things that are just downloading as I'm talking. I would like to gift the Irresistible Woman System. And the Irresistible Woman System is it's a system that it's a free gift. It includes an ebook and a masterclass that we did. And it also has, you know, some other, we threw in a bunch of stuff there. So that you can really see the things that I was saying, like the difference between confidence and arrogance, the difference between being controlling and being alluring, right?
I can't wait to do that again. I so need it now. It's really good.
So this has a lot of resources in it. And so I'm just going to drop the link. I'm not even going to, I literally did not have this ready. Okay. So this is just a little blurb, just a link with no blurb, that you can go ahead and, there we go. That's the Irresistible Woman System. And it comes also with an opportunity to speak, to have a free love breakthrough call. So if there's a question that you maybe don't feel comfortable asking here on Facebook and you want to just talk it through, you can do that as well. So it's worth like $500 and you all can have it.
All right. So get the free gift by going to heartsdesire.com/irresistible. So heartsdesire.com/irresistible. And that is a free gift that Gladys is giving to everyone here today. And I saw a few people on Facebook said they were unable to make the 16th to the 18th. So it's a great way to get started. And if you can get to the event, the Irresistible Woman Live 2022 event, what are you waiting for? And the thing that I would say is I had lots of stories made up about I don't have time for a relationship. It's going to impact my business. You know, men are threatened. I had all of that crap going on and none of it's true. When you are with the right person, when you're attracting the right person by who you're being and what you'll learn with Gladys. So Gladys and Michelle at the Irresistible Woman Live. So let me go ahead and open up for some questions. We got a lot of people in queue. Again, grab your ticket for the event by going to bit.ly/IWL2022. And let me go ahead and take our first caller, which will be Olivia Jones.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
My question is, I'm very easygoing. So a lot of times people think that is pushover. Mm-hmm. So as opposed to, I'm kind of the opposite of arrogant because I'm mushy. I love, and I love people. And so oftentimes I meet men who, I don't know, that they're the ones who are controlling, or, they're perceive me as a pushover. I don't know. So I guess my question is, what if you are just the opposite, as opposed to someone thinking that you're arrogant and overly confident? But
Yeah.
how do you, what are your, how do you change that? I guess, yeah.
But we don't want to, you don't need to change yourself. What I would, and obviously it's not a coaching session, but the first thing that came into my mind, Olivia, is how clear are you about your boundaries? So boundaries, by the way, everyone, are not rules that somebody else has to follow, right? And when you're saying my boundary is that you have to, or people have to, that's a rule. That's not a boundary. The boundary is the line you draw in the sand for yourself, what you're willing to tolerate, what you're willing to expect, what you prefer, what you don't prefer. Those are your boundaries. So if people are mistaking your easygoingness for being a pushover, the first place I go to is how clear are you on communicating your boundaries? And you don't have to come across, if it's not your way of being, if it's not your natural, authentic way of being, you don't have to change who you are. You do need to be clear. So I don't know if you feel comfortable sharing a specific example of something that would be confused as easygoing, because then I could give like more targeted. And again, you can schedule time to talk with us if you prefer not to do it in this arena. But when people we get this a lot, like I get taken advantage of, I'm always giving, I don't get back. I overgive and people don't reciprocate. A lot of times we're overgiving or we're easygoing so that people don't see us as high maintenance, or they don't see us as difficult. But if you're not clear about your own boundaries, then it's not that people are overstepping your boundaries, it's that you keep moving the line. You keep moving the line.
I think that is right. That's it, Gladys. Specifically, it's just that, like, not knowing how to communicate that clearly. Right. And because actually I was just reading a book about boundaries, and it's not even just, in attracting men. It's just how I deal with people overall.
It's clients. That's why this is also connected, right?
Yeah. And even in business, because sometimes, there's like people expect me to be generous and giving. And I'm like, well, I am in business. I'm working on, this is my business.
Exactly. So, right.
Yes.
It's not a charity, even though people don't know that. Nonprofits make a lot of money, but that's not the topic of this conversation. But it's clearly a boundaries thing. And the whole thing about communication, I'm glad you mentioned that, Olivia, because we actually have breakout sessions at the event. Single women go into breakout rooms for specifically single related coaching and training. Girlfriends and wives go into another room for specific coaching. I would say 90, I'm not exaggerating this number, 98% of the coaching that we give is on communication. Because people say, if you ask people, what's the number one key to a great relationship? They'll say communication, but that's not the right answer. It's effective communication. It's the kind of communication that I can say what I think, what I feel, what I want, what I desire in a way that is respectful, in a way where both of us at the end of the conversation have our dignity intact, and where we've created partnership, because a lot of people are talking like this.
Right.
And we love each other, we want to work together, but there's no partnership. So if you're able to come to the event, I would absolutely encourage you to do that, because there's even a whole entire half of a day dedicated just to communicating effectively. And I will share, because it's appropriate here, that many of the skills that we teach there, you'll be able to translate it into the conversations with your most difficult clients, with the not difficult clients, with when you're having an enrollment conversation. An enrollment conversation is simply expressing the invitation for an opportunity for the person to get the solution they came to you for. They actually booked a call or came to your event looking for a solution. how do you effectively communicate that in the way that leaves the other person feeling inspired to say yes? So I would absolutely encourage you to
Thank
come.
you guys. So this actually helps too, because like I was sharing once before, I have NLP. I think I started, I don't think I'm a master practitioner. I'm just the beginning of it.
Heck of a
So
dream.
yeah, so and it's communication mastery. And so that a light bulb just went off like, okay, yes, communication mastery, effective communication, and really have a clear understanding of how am I communicating with not just myself, but even others. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And if you, when you click on the irresistible, the Heart's Desire INTL/irresistible, the one that comes with the call, you can actually bring specific examples of things that you would like to be able to communicate clearly, and our team member will help you do that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, good. Great. Thank you, Olivia, for asking such a good question. Let me go and remind everyone, go to get your ticket for the Irresistible Woman Live for just $47. And you go to bit.ly/IWL2022. And then for the gift that Gladys gave today, you go to Heart's Desire INTL, like international, INTL.com/irresistible, right?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. IRRESISTIBLE. All right, let's go to our next caller. Peg Duchesne, your line is open.
Thank you so much, Gladys. Good morning. It was great to spend last evening with you and to be here again with you this morning. So many golden nuggets this morning. One of my big takeaways today is the two extremes, blowing up and shutting down. And so often we're at one end or the other and not in the middle, making our communication effective. So I'm so looking forward to the workshop, and I very much appreciate the irresistible free gift, and timing is right, and I just can't wait. So thank you, Gladys, for being here and giving the WPN sisters and our brothers as well this wonderful, wonderful gift. So yay. And thanks for saying beautiful humans. We had that discussion last night about not saying ladies and gentlemen, but other things. So yay.
I love that. Thank you, Peg. And so happy that you're jumping in and going for it. There are so many benefits when you allow yourself to experience more love.
Yes.
Love in relationships, love in your family, love in your business, love for people, like all of it is great. And I love what you shared about Warren Buffett. And that's what it is. It's about experiencing more love. So yeah, you already experience and share so much love.
I just thought of something, a lot of times, and I know some people are meeting us for the first time, and a lot of times the big question that people have is like, when they ask, well, will this work? How does it work? They're really asking, will this work for me? And I didn't, and I'm going to share what I'm going to share, not to brag, but just because I think it's important for people to know who you're trusting and Nancy has heard me say this now for 8 years. I'm really selective about who I allow to whisper in my ear when it comes to the important things in my life, whether it's money, business, my relationships, my family. And just in the past 60 days, we have these are the ones that we know about. So I have to preface it with that. Just in the past 60 days, 13 new relationships have been formed. We've had 3 engagements. We just had a wedding last week. We have another wedding the week after the Irresistible Woman Live. They literally plan their weddings around the event. That's how important it is. And as I said, we just had another baby born, and that's in 60 days. And not every relationship coach has those kinds of results. That's not counting since January. That's not counting the 15 years we've been doing work. And why I share that is because when you're using principles that work, and when I'm telling you that you can experience more success than even what you're already experiencing, it really comes down to what are the results? What are the results that you're helping people produce? That's why that's as entrepreneurs is one of our biggest desires. We don't just want to make the money. We want to know we're making a difference while we're making the money. And so when you were sharing, Nancy, with that some people were having they have something on that week. I mean, if you were being invited to a business strategy, if Nancy was offering a free VIP day, right, to spend the day with her. I have done crazy things to spend 4 hours driving from Orlando to be in the car with Nancy. I am a smart woman. You know, I had flights booked. And she said, hey, you want to drive down with us? Absolutely. I don't care. I already paid, $200-300 for a ticket. I know I want to be in the right room. I want to be in the room with the right people. And so if this is something that you've been struggling with, I'm going to say, do what you need to do to your calendar, like you would if your top client was inviting you somewhere, if your coach was inviting you somewhere, because it's that important. It's that important for you. And it's that important for me to know that we're making a difference in your life and helping this dream come true for you.
Beautiful. So good. So grab your ticket, go to bit.ly/IWL2022. Let's go ahead and open up Vanessa Donaldson.
Yes. Hi, ladies. Thank you so much. I love this subject. I'm a military spouse, married to a retired Marine, 25 years. So I put in the chat, like, over 50% of military marriages end in divorce. I mean, you've got deployments, you've got transition, uprooting the family every few years. You've got everything against you to make your marriage fail, basically. So this is a huge part of what I like to do with women. So yeah, I just messaged you on LinkedIn, Gladys, and definitely want to find ways to collaborate. There's women that I'm working on in other areas of their life. They're maybe getting out of the military themselves, female veterans. Or some of them are getting divorced. I mean, they've been married 18, 20 years and then realize they've been in some kind of dysfunctional, abusive relationship and, starting over. So I would also like to share your bit.ly, whatever, with your event with, non-WPN. And I think Nancy mentioned that is okay. I can share this link and they'll get it for what, the $47, and that's still okay. Okay.
A community of women. I mean, this really is like, it is our giving back. And they're women that but
Yeah.
I said, I'll never meet unless, you all share. So yes, you can share the link. It is absolutely fine. You can tell them to put WPN, because if obviously,
Okay, yes.
I'll know your name. But I really do want to, to just express my gratitude to
Okay.
Nancy. And
Great.
the other thing I wanted to say is, first of all, thank your husband for his service and thank you for your service, because it takes something to be a military spouse. I mean, we have a lot of them in our community. We also have a lot of women. Like, as soon as you said that, I was at 3 women in our community right now and 2 of them were sure they were not going to find someone. One, because she's very high ranking, and she has the story that because of her rank and because of the fact that she can be moved at any time, she wouldn't meet somebody. And she was number 13. When I said we've had 13, she just announced her committed relationship last week. And the other one is one of our lead coaches, which those of you who are getting the system and getting the free call, she's the one you'll be talking to. And she was sure, because she lives in a community, military community. She's already out of the Marines, but she was sure she was not going to meet anyone in her town. There was just like no men in her town. And we had to go, we really had to go deep with her to see
what my gosh
about. And she is engaged and she will be married next year. And, the average woman in our community meets and marries the man of her dreams in 3 to 9 months. Not a lot of people can say that. We waited a long time. Enough evidence to say that. This year, we it's blaring in our faces. It's time to, okay, it's safe for you to say it, but I wanted to say thank you for working with women who have either served or are married or in a relationship with someone who serves, because I'm not going to get into one of my soapboxes, but we do not take care of the people who serve and the people who love them in this country the way that we could. And so I'm just grateful that you're out there doing the work that you do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate hearing that. Almost bringing a tear to my eyes. And I probably should sign up too. I mean, I'm pretty happily married 25 years, but this is a transition for me going back into entrepreneurship now. It's definitely hitting a nerve, because I've always been in the background following his thing. And it's like, where are you now? What do you mean we can't go out? Let's go to the beach walk. Let's do this. And I'm like, I have a schedule. I have a calendar. And it's like his wife has morphed into like, some digital computer being. So this might be good for me too.
It'll be powerful. I mean, you're going to be in the room. Like, again, it's about being in the right room with the right people. Very powerful, empowered women who are committed, just like here, to empowering one another. You're going to be in very good company. And I'll be in the girlfriend and wife group with you. I'm the one.
Oh, excellent. Now, I didn't understand how long. I couldn't tell in the list how many hours this is happening when you said 3 days.
It's 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We go approximately from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. There's some VIP. You'll see in the
Wow.
Yeah, we took a year of coaching. Like it's an immersive experience, and a lot of those marriages and relationships, we just did the work yesterday, were the women who came to last year's event. They came to an event last year, a 3-day event, and everything changed. My life changed in a 3-day event. When I was 17, nothing has ever been the same. So it seems like a lot of time the feedback we get is, how is it already over? Like, how is day 1 over? How are we already on day 3? It is.
How do I pitch this to my husband? I'm already in here way too many hours. Now I'm going to tell him I'm gone for a weekend in my computer.
This is not necessarily for my business. This is for me. This is how I get to step into being the best woman, the best wife, the best version of me. And I could really, I could just use your support. You don't say, I want your support. I would love to feel supported is actually what I would say. I would love to feel supported because this is a big step for me. When we come with vulnerability, like I would really love to feel supported. So delete the one I said before because I had the word you. And that's a manipulative way sometimes that we speak. This is what we're going to be teaching, by the way, on day 3. I would love to feel supported in this. What it does is it ignites the man's natural desire to please, provide, and protect. But we've got to be willing to be vulnerable when we say it.
More golden nuggets.
Thank you.
So good. So good. You are welcome. And
sorry, I don't want to take up all that time. I'll put myself on mute.
It was absolutely perfect. I see the two of you doing some things together, and that's the magic of how our community works together, supports each other. Like we're all here bringing our gifts and skills and talents for the betterment of humankind. That's what each and every one of you have in common. And we thank you for showing up. Gladys, I thank you for my life and how you've impacted it in such a beautiful way, and all the thousands and thousands of lives that you and your sister have positively made a difference in. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I'm so happy for you. I can't wait for us to have just a girl chat so you can tell me all about it from start to finish. You know, I love the detail. I sent her a text message the other day. Inquiring coaches want to know. And so, so definitely.
I'll have that catch up soon.
And if anybody wants to private message me, I heard Vanessa say she private messaged me on LinkedIn. The best way to private message me is Facebook Messenger. I'm in there all the time because I also support my clients through there. So just private message me. Tell me I was on Wow Wednesday, and whatever your question is, however I can support you, I'm happy to do that.
Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, my friends, we are out of time, as I knew it would fly by with Gladys Diaz. Be sure to grab your ticket to Irresistible Woman Live. Go to bit.ly/IWL2022 and put WPN in the reference. Tickets are just $47. And get started right now by going to Heart's Desire, INTL, T like Tom, INTL.com/irresistible, and you'll get the free training from Gladys and Michelle on being irresistible. So go for it. Thank you for being with us today. I love you, my friend. And I'll see you soon, and we'll have that catch-up call.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.